So welcome, ladies. Thank you for joining us this evening. We have a special guest, Dr.DilciaGranville, and she's a renowned scientist and author with a wealth of knowledge and experience in various fields. She earned her master's and doctoral degrees from Adelphi University and is a graduate of Harvard University's Higher Education Teaching and Learning Program. Her expertise is in pedagogy, if I say that right, communication strategy, public and mental health, social work, research, and leadership is unparalleled. She has over 30 years of service in the United States Food and Drug Administration and has become an authority in her field. She's widely recognized and a pioneer in innovation and technology and has contributed greatly to the development of groundbreaking methods and practices. Her academic and professional achievements are a testament to her passion and dedication to improving the world. Her work has not only impacted the scientific community, but also the broader society. She continues to inspire and motivate individuals worldwide to pursue excellence and make a positive difference in the world. So in the scientific realm, I always found it interesting when I found out that she had created this little like dipstick that people could put in a drink and find out how much sugar it had. So that's one of her innovations. But tonight she's going to talk to us about mental health. You could take it away, Dilcia.
Oh, thank you so much, Gladys. I am very so humble and happy to be here today and to share with the beautiful comadres. Que me encanta el título, so I am very happy to be here today and to share a little bit of my knowledge. And this month we celebrate a mental health month. And it's not just an information, but it's for transformation. Information we already have on the internet with the oasis of information out there. But today I wanted to bring La Comadres para una transformación, a transformation. So this transformation, it's about yourself. It's about you being mindful about your mental health. And it's about what could you do about it. And if we have a little bit of time, we'll be doing a little bit of exercise or something that you could do right now. But for now, I'm just going to ask you, how many of you spend any little time in yourself? I'm not seeing the chat, but I'm sure that comadres I see in the chat. Is that comadre wanted to tell me if anybody responded? 20%. That's it. That's excellent. %. Ooh. I'm very impressed. 50%. Wow. I must say, La Comadres are spending a lot of time and a good time and a great time and yourself, very unlikely of the general populations. It's happening is that most of us spend a lot of times doing tons of different things, but take very, very little time about yourself, taking time on yourself, growing yourself, developing yourself. But La Comadres I don't think they have that problem because I see 50%, 30%, 20% is way above the average of what the general population actually spend. Most of the people spend with the family, time with the family, like 37 minutes. So if you were spending 20 and 30% is very good for you. So today, this is what they talk about. Today is about taking time of yourself. It's about mental health and seeing mental health as a total of your body, not just as one part of you, but a total you. And if I get the first slide, please. So the objective of today is learn how can prioritize your mental health and treatment options, therapy, lifestyle changes and support, reducing the stigma and promote the well-being. And the mental health is a total health um, um, topic, and I like that they decided to do like the theme of the year is mental health is a total health. Look around, look within, from your neighborhood to genetics, because this is what mental health is. So next slides, please. When we think about mental health and we're thinking about prioritizing mental health, we see ourselves of how we grow, how you feel, how you want to feel, and it's a very 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 profound topic. But unfortunately, most people are running around like chicken without a head, and they're missing out what is happening with themselves, what is happening to them. Um, and they're missing out to be mindful. Next slides, please. So when we're talking about mental health, we're talking about the interconnectedness that there is with everything you do. Mental health, it's interconnected with your work, with your social life, with your intellectual life, with your physical life, with your relationship and a spiritual life. So when you have when your mental health is a balance, then you are good, or you are fulfilled, and you are happy in all these areas of your life. So if you neglect your mental health, you also neglecting the other part of your life. So you are not fulfilling as much or as you could in your entire realm of your life. Next slide. So lifestyle changes for mental health. So the most important thing when I'm talking about transformation, I'm talking about you need to take action. It's just no information. Everybody, you could have a lot of information, but what is it that people need to do? One of the most important thing that people have to take action and implement is that you have to have an annual physical exam. And it's very much related to mental health, because the way how you feel, you physically feel inside, this is a reflection of the outside. When your body is healing and is healthy, your mental health also responds in the same way. But many people just don't feel that going to the doctor is an investment. It's a waste of time. What are they going to tell me? The doctor's going to tell me that I'm okay. Why should I go to the doctor? As we age, we should be mindful that it's very important that we have a checkup. We have to have a checkup, just because what happened in our action and behavior may be related to something physical. So the number one thing is that you need to have the annual physical exam. The next thing that La Comadre don't have any problem about, because I hear that they have 20, 30, 10% of their time, is doing your exercise. I heard Gladys saying that she is doing yoga and you are involved in the yoga. Doing the exercise is very important, to be engaged in physical exercise, not only to boost the mood, but it's reduce the stress and improve cognitive behavior functions. When you do exercise, you are sharper. If you're going to school, you could respond and memorize and faster and respond in a better way. The other part is eating healthy. I know me and Gladys talk about eating healthy food. We're going way back from 2012, I think 2010. So how we tell people that eating healthy is the basic. When you nourish your body with nutritious food, you positively impact our mental health and well-being. So what is eating healthy? Eating healthy is having a plate that reflects that half of the plate is fruit and vegetable. One part of the plate is protein. The other part is a whole grain. And the other part is that you need to get a lot of water. So when you are eating produce and you are eating products that are fresh, you are in the right direction. This is very good for your moods. It's very good for your mental health, and it's very good for your energy. The other part that people neglect, because the digital is taking all our time, and when people spend every 5 seconds looking Facebook and looking YouTube and looking TikTok, and sometimes they sleep with the telephone, they go to bed with the telephone in their hands, so they're not getting adequate sleep. So to transform yourself, you have to have an adequate sleep. Sufficiently sleep promotes emotional stability, cognitive function, and energy level. When you don't sleep well, then you will have you sluggish. You don't remember things. You are not as sharp as you should be. So you have to give yourself enough sleep. Believe it or not, when you are sleeping, your hormones, your cells, we have something called neuroplasticity, in which your mind, your brain start to connect. And when you're sleeping, this is the best time for the myelin. For it's a substance you have inside you that help you to remember things, that help you to connect. And this is a very important for the physical aspect of it, that you need to be connecting. You're learning something new that get connectivity. So that's why it's very good when you are doing exercise, when you are eating healthy, when you're learning new things, because your brain start connecting, you become very sharp. And the other thing, the other part is stress management. People go around with a lot of stress. If they have, it's too many things that they want to squeeze, and you want to live the experience, and you don't want to miss out. You're afraid to miss out. So with managing that, give you stress too. Believe it or not, when you book yourself with too many activities and too many functions and too many meetings, you don't have a lot of time to reflect in yourself. So as you have to learn to manage your stress. Your time is very important, and you have to allocate that time for you. I'm going to speak a little bit later. Next slide, please. So how did you get yourself in a better shape? But you have to have a support system for mental health. And I think like Comadre is a very good example of how to get a support system. You develop this support system in which you be accountable for each other. You have this friendship. This friendship is good for the immune system. You have your body system in which you'll be able to speak and tell your network, I really didn't feel well today. And your commander could tell you, well, you maybe, what do you do? What are you doing that you're not sleeping well? Maybe you're eating this heavy food at night. So the network it's not only is good for your mental health, it's your support system. When the COVID came in and hit, many people committed suicide. And there were people that, we have few neighbors that, they all, and nothing happened. Why they committed suicide? That is not a need. But if we, as a human being, we are born to be connected. And the COVID has so many isolation, so many people that were separated from their loved one, and so many family that never saw another human being until they died in the nursing home. So people saying, people just want to die because they were afraid of corona. But most of the time was isolation, was feeling lonely, not feeling somebody to touch, because touching is healing, and touching is energy. And when you touch somebody and somebody hug you, it's increase your immune system. So we are born to be connected. Next slide, please. So coping with mental health conditions by journaling. A study has shown that when I wrote this journal, and I put it there because I think it's good to during the coronavirus, I created this journal because many people really wanted to be connected. It's good for the stress, and the studies show that it's good for anxiety, depression, and bipolar disorder. When you're journaling, it's you are releasing, and that is very good for your mind, and it's very good for your mental health because you're releasing all this energy that are in your brain, and you are telling about what happened to you for reflection. Next slide, please. But the other part of the mental health, in which has increased tremendously after the coronavirus, has been depression. People, a substantial amount, 51 million people in the world suffering from depression. It's affecting every one of us. And I don't know if in the chat you could tell me, do you know anybody who suffered from depression? So you will know that I know people who suffering from depression right now due to the coronavirus, because not only the coronavirus brought fears into their life, but also they are unable to move on besides the coronavirus. So it's a lot more than people see around. One, because of there was a shortage of psychiatrists, a shortage of healthcare providers. So people, when a little bit of depression, it's okay, you're sad because you couldn't see your sister and your brother, but then this get prolonged for months, and then now that sadness becoming depression. And that is a very important thing to pay attention to it. Like, if you're feeling sad because something happened to you, it's okay to feel sad. It's part of life to feel sad. This is part of living. But when you are feeling sad and the sadness goes to already 8 weeks, it's time for you to go and see your physician. It's time for you to look for help. It's time for you to say to yourself, wait a minute, this is not normal. I'm okay. I was sad. If you lose somebody, it's okay to grieve. If it's close to you, if it's a son, a daughter, or mother, you're going to find that sadness. But eventually, you are going to be going back to your routine. And the sooner you go to the routine, the better it is for you to adjust. The other big problem with people is anxiety. People, this coronavirus give us a great deal of anxiety. It's like, did I say hello to this person? The person doesn't have the mask. Did I go to visit my family? Maybe somebody else is going to be there. Oh, what am I going to do? Like, I have to go to the Bronx, and the building was closed. They didn't allow me to go to okay. So for me, it was a lot of anxiety when went on with coronavirus, because I wanted to see my mother, but somebody in the building has the corona when they're starting. And in it went in 2020 when they really, got hit. And it was a lot of anxiety for everybody. I think that we all were very anxious, but we were able to cope because I put it in FaceTime. I spoke with her over the phone. I spoke with the home attendant. So you have to find a way to reduce the anxiety. But when that anxiety go beyond, or you functioning, you won't be able to function anymore because you're too anxious, that you're afraid to go to the supermarket and cook and buy food. So then this is a problem. This is definitely a problem that you need to go and see a doctor. The same antipsychotic. People say, well, sometimes I see things, but sometimes, maybe it's because I'm too anxious and I start seeing things, I start hallucinating. But, I know the Hispanic, we are thinking about our that's one, and we saw it over there. Yeah, she was sitting there with me. Sometimes that is healthy because people feel like their loved one are with you. But when that is interfering with your functioning, when you say that you start giving food to the person and you start talking to the person back, and then you hear the person talking to you, then definitely you need to go and see the doctor. This is a sign for you to see a doctor. This is a sign for you to say something is not right. The same with mood disorder. Um, one day I'm happy, or the other day I don't talk to you. And then you say, oh, this person is moody. But maybe the person in general is moody. But when this thing becoming affecting you, you're going to work, and today I don't want to talk to anybody, then you need to talk to that person, because you are in a job where required to speak to people. So you work in customer services, and all of a suddenly everything irritates you, and you won't be able to work, then it's affecting your job, it's affecting your function. This is the time where you have to go and see the doctor. This is a time where you have to see what is going on with me. Any all the time that you mood change, you have to be looking into it. You have to be concerned. Um, the other issue that we have with the mental illness is like, all the suddenly you are too hyper. You cleaning the house, and day and night for 12 hours. You don't stop, and you cleaning, and you mopping, and everything is, something is wrong with that. And then 3 days later, you are sleeping for 3 days, and you don't want to talk to people. That is when you need to, if you have somebody who is like that, that is that when you need to go and see a doctor. Something is not right. I had my stepmother doing that for 3 days, and I said, we need to go to emergency. This is not right. This is, you are not being cleaning until you passed out. And then suddenly, she couldn't move. So I immediately went, and took her to the emergency room. I said, something is wrong with her. This is no how it should be. Something is wrong with her. And they find that she suffered from mental illness. They prescribe medications, and that's something that need to be dealt with. The same with somebody who has a low energy. Nothing stimulates you. You are sitting there, and again, and it's affecting your job. It's you are not thriving. You have children, and the children are playing along, and then you see them playing, but you don't see yourself. This is mental illness. It's no uh, part of you living as a mother, that you don't enjoy your children, that you don't play with your children, that you don't want to talk to the neighbor. That's something that you have to say to yourself. Or if you have a family member that is uh, and that is acting that manner, then you say that person need to go and see the doctor. Let me help you. Let me take you to the doctor. Let the doctor see you. Always your primary doctor is the first line of defense, because it may be related to hormonal problem, may be related to internal organs, it may be related to many different things that need to be taken care of. So the primary doctors usually is the best way to go. The next slide, please. So when you are journaling, when you're feeling all these feelings, it's very wise, and the studies show that it's very good to self-reflect, to see, what is going on with you. It's help you to reduce the stress when you're journaling. It's a problem solving, because when you're writing down, you're trying to solve the problem. And most likely than not, everyone has the power to solve a problem when you ask you 3 why. And if you're talking to somebody and is telling you a problem, you ask the person why, and the person is going to respond, and then you go again, why? And the person is going to respond again. But why? When you respond, when you're given it 3 whys, the person then realize that can solve the problem that they thought that they couldn't solve the problem. So it's very important when you are journaling that also you respond to your whys. Why am I doing this? Enhance emotional regulations, boosted the mood and well-being, personal growth and self-development, healing trauma and recovery, and increased self-compassion. one of the things is sometimes we are very harsh on us, like, I should have done this better. I shouldn't done, you hammer yourself continuously. And this, you have to have some self-compassion. You have to say, well, I shouldn't done, I shouldn't be so harsh, but you know what? I'm going to do better next time. And I forgive myself for being, for doing that. You have to be compassion. You have to have a compassion with you first. You have to feel that you are a human being that made mistake. You're a human being that gonna err, but you also a human being that you have to caress yourself. You have to love yourself. This is and a journal is going to help you to go through all that. So next slide, please. So the biggest part of having all these if you have mental illness, is the stigma. And I'm glad that they added that into the national theme. A stigma. A stigma is everywhere in the planet there are stigma and how they see the mental health. But the biggest thing is how you respond to that stigma. It's what is the biggest issue. How many countries respond in different way. The countries that are open are more willing. In the United States, more and more celebrities coming out and say, I'm suffering from depression, I suffer from bipolar, I suffer from, some psychiatric issues, and they're not afraid to say it. And that have brought, in the past 15 or 20 years, that have brought mental health to the forefront. And people are not so much afraid to say, I suffer from depression, I'm taking some medicine. And believe it or not, another country, they realize the person is sick, but they victimize the victim, like double whammy. So if the person suffers from depression, oh, you're going to get over that. That's it, you are going to feel okay. But the person all their life is feeling depressed. So don't you think that is good if you allow that person to take it to the doctor and see? And the other part of that is that if I take it to the doctor and the doctors diagnose you with some kind of mental illness, so how my friends or my family are going to react to it? If you suffer from diabetes and you tell somebody, I'm going to inject an insulin, people are very compassionate about it. Oh, you want to go to the room? Or can I give you something? Because diabetes is a physical disease, and people can live with the disease. But if you suffer from some psychiatric disorder and you suffer from schizophrenia and you have to take your medicine, and this is not the best time, you may be looking different. Oh, she suffered from schizophrenia, get away from her. Like many family members and relatives, and also making fun of the person who suffered from schizophrenia. So you have to break the habit. And starting with you, Comadres, if you see somebody who is suffering from mental illness, let me help you. Let me tell you, where could you go? Let me look at the internet and tell you which, mental health professional could help you. Let me talk to a social worker. Let me talk to a psychiatrist to see if you can refer. You could always have this education and this compassion for people who suffer. Let's talk about it. How do you feel? If you're feeling depressed, maybe you should do a little bit of exercise. How long are you feeling depressed? For 6 weeks? Well, I think that I could accompany you to go to see somebody. Or let me make an appointment. Let me help you. Because remember, the people who are depressed, they don't have the energy to make that appointment. They don't have the energy to walk to a doctor's office. But if you have a comadre that could take you to the doctor's office, I'll go with you. Don't worry about it. I'm going to make the call for you. So that educating people, and if you find people talking about mental health like people are lunatic or whatever, no, you have to correct that person and say, you don't understand about mental illness. Let me tell you about what is mental illness is. let's talk about it. Like, you have to open that channel of conversation to help people understand and educate people that mental illness is a disease, and people do not want to have or do not want to be having mental illness. The same way that people do not want to be diabetic, it's the same way that people do not want to be like that. People don't want to be depressed. People don't want to be psychotic. It's just the way it is. People are born, or people, the circumstances, the environment create all these for people, the financial issues. You have the right to be depressed if you don't have food to put on the table. So let me see how can I help you, maybe to get some food stamp, or maybe to get some food from the food pantry to alleviate that person next to you, so the person doesn't feel isolated. Next slide, please. So what are the treatment? So we talk about medicine. We got to mention it previously. So what kind of help is there for people who suffer from mental illness or from mental health issues? So you have cognitive behavior therapy, that is identify with a I'm sorry, I cannot read. So it's a modify negative thoughts and behavior. So you modify the negative thought and behavior by the cognitive behavior therapy. So this is when you go to speak, when you go to a therapy, that you're going to be talking about those behaviors, those thoughts, your thoughts and feelings, and then you act. So that's what cognitive behavior therapy is. You're also going to be speaking dialectical behavior therapy, which you're going to be speaking in group. And this is a group of people that look like you, that having the same problem like you and similar problem, and they understand where you're coming from. A good therapy is mindful-based therapy, which is about being in the present. And if you are there with the people who are present, when you're talking about mindful therapy, it could be listening, it could be touching, it could be smelling. So if you are there, let's do a very, very quick exercise. I'm going to tell you the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 to be in the present time. 5 things that you could see. Right in the chat, 5 things that you could see. Got it? Okay. 4 things that you could touch next to you. 4 things that you could touch. Touch it and feel the texture of what you are touching. Whatever it is, 4 things that you could touch. Okay? Got it? 3 things that you could smell. Even if it's the air, smell the air. Smell that out. Right? Yeah. You have perfume, if you like perfume, and you have a candle, smell the candles, smell any essence that you have in. You got that? Now, could you taste something? I'm gonna taste water. One thing that you could taste. You could taste coffee, you could taste water. You test it? That exercise is a mindful exercise. What it does is that puts you in the present time. You are doing things right now, and you're getting candy. What kind of candy is that? You're eating, what flavor is that candy? So that mindful exercise, all the time you find yourself wondering, is be mindful. You have to be mindful of what you're doing right now in this particular moment. When you are mindful, it's very good for your brain. It's very good because it makes you to focus. identify and modify negative thoughts and behavior. Like if you're having a racing thoughts that it's not so pleasant, you could change it around when you get in the present time. You touch something, any type of material, doesn't matter what it is. When you touch, you are in the present. When you taste, you are in the present because you are doing. When you're listening, that's two things that you could listen right now. Listen to. I could hear the birds from my outside. What could you hear? You could hear my voice, and I'm speaking now. So when you put yourself mindful in the present, you consciously know what is going on. That is very good for your brain to recoup. It's very good for connectivity. It's very good for your mind. And it's very good for your soul when you are in the present time. One exercise that is very good is listening. Mindful listening, and it's happening when somebody's telling you something. A comadre is telling you something, and you're listening to her voice, and you're listening to her accent, and you're listening to her tone of voice. You are in it. The comadre will feel that you are in it because you are responding to her, because you are present at the moment. And the comadre is going to appreciate you because you are totally present with her. So when we are totally present with a friend telling us, anybody telling us something, you are not ready to respond. You are ready to hear the sound of the voice. You hear the tone. You see the mannerism. You see her expression on her face, the cues, what she's trying to say. So that is a very good mindful exercise that you could do every day, anytime. The other therapist is the acceptance and commitment therapy. You're going to accept your thoughts and emotion to positive change. When you have some thought that coming to you, you say to yourself, well, I'm going to do a change in that. Let's see a friend tell you, you know, Maria, you interrupt every other moment when I'm speaking, and that is very annoying, but you probably never realize that you're doing that. And the reason why you don't realize because you're not being mindful of what she's telling you, because you interrupt him. You are not listening what the person is saying to you because you're too busy wanting to say something to yourself, so you are not listening. So in this act and the acceptance and commitment therapy act, what the therapy does to you is that listen to what your thoughts and then say what kind of positive thoughts can come out of this, what you are saying, but you are being mindful. You're totally mindful. You are present. You are there and you're listening and you're hearing and you are almost tasting, what she's saying, and then you could see the expression. So that is the different type of therapy. You have group therapy, you have sections therapy, a special therapist. Let's say you suffer from trauma, so you have a special trauma therapy that has to be done. It doesn't have to be the same like the other therapy, but involve a lot about being grounded. When you suffer from a trauma, you have to ground yourself because you want to make sure, like the veterans that coming from the war, they need to be grounded. They're not there anymore. They are here, and it's very hard for them to be fighting and killing, and now coming here they feel guilty. It's a lot of issues going on with the veterans when they come in, and the trauma, the same that people crossing the borders, the women that are being raped, all these things that is so harsh, for people who coming from the border. They're all coming with the trauma, that they have to move on from that trauma in order to be able to to reintegrate to to the community, to where they are. The next slide, please. So how do you promote all this well-being? How will you continue to promote the well-being? Well, you have to take care of yourself. You have to make a commitment to take care of yourself. When you take care of yourself, your internal self, then you are able to then take care of the rest of what happened to you. But you have to take time to care. You have to have a good sleep. You have to meditate, and I'm glad that I see you all practice meditation. You have to exercise. Reading is very good for you. Reading is a you travel when you're reading. Reading is a great exercise. You eating healthy. You drinking more water. You love yourself. You take care of yourself. You have to have limits. You have to have limits. You have to have boundary. You have to get the space for you. What happened in our life is that we get caught up with many things, from the digital to the social media to the people in your surrounding. And you have to have a limit. You have to have a boundary. You have to say, this is my time, and I have to draw the line. Let's see, you go to bed every day at 10 o'clock and your friend called you, 10:15, when you are about to, because the friend had to tell you what happened to her today. And she tells it all the time, but then you feel afraid because you don't want to damage the friendship, because she's your friend for many years. And eventually you have to tell to your friend, listen, I'll tell you one thing. I'm going to bed at 10 o'clock. We're going to catch up tomorrow. What is the best time for us to catch up every day? But I want to tell you something. I feel much relaxed when I go to bed at 10. And I appreciate it. If you call me, I'm not going to answer the phone. It's nothing wrong. I don't have any feeling with you. It's about me. It's about me being able to have that space that I wanted to relax at 10 o'clock. I wanted to just to be with myself, and I wanted to fall asleep. You have to do that for your mental health. It's not, no disrespect or anything. It's not about your friend. It's about you setting boundary. It's about you deciding to have a limit in your life. It's about you conquering your mental health. The other thing that usually doesn't happen is we don't have a balance at work. Some people are all work or all family or all social media or all whatever it is, but they don't have a balance. My boss is calling me. I have to be working until 10 o'clock. So my sister-in-law was like that. She came from work at 8, and she will eat and she will go back to work again in the computer. And I said, but you already came from work 18 hours. Oh, but I have to do this because tomorrow we have payroll and something. And then I always remember something that my boss one time at the FTA told me. She told me, if you cannot do things in 8 hours, you're a bad worker. Like, what? Yeah, you're a bad worker. You'll be able to manage your time. You are able to manage your time to be productive and to leave at the regular time home. You cannot be here at 7 or 8 o'clock at night. That mismanagement of your time. So, and that is something that I learned well back, because you have to have a balance. This is you as a person. Now you love yourself, you take care of yourself, but you work 8 hours, then you have to leave, you work at work, and then you become whatever it is. Are you a mother? Are you a wife? Are you you have to have a balance in your life. You cannot be all or nothing. You have to be balanced. And the other big things that is being studied is gratitude. A study showing that when you're grateful every day, that not only help you your neuron connectivities, neuroplasticity, but it's also help you soul and help you to feel grateful for what you have. So when you are grateful for everything that you have, you are grateful for your family, you are grateful every night before you go to bed in the morning. I'm so grateful that it help you to regenerate energy. That is the studies show that it's a very good for you. And expressing gratitude enhance your overall self-well-being. So it's very important for you to express that gratitude for your internals and for the external. People always like to be with people who are grateful. Next, please. And I hope that everything that I had told you, comadres, bring you a happy life to you and to all of you, because when we take care of ourselves, not for information, but for transformation, we transform ourselves. We are great, not only for ourselves, but for the people in the surrounding. Next slide, please. And if you need me, you could always find me in social media. You could have, I do workshop, and I have my latest book, Abre tu Mente, and the 2023 book that is not in Amazon yet, but I have it at home. So if any of you would like to get this journal, you could always send me an email. And please subscribe to my website. This way, whenever I have any workshop, I could send you information. I appreciate that you're doing that, and I appreciate so much being here today with La Comadres. Thank you so much. If you have any questions.
Thank you, Dilcia, so much for sharing that with us. Does anybody on screen have any questions? Unmute yourself.
Hi, I have a question. I came in late, I'm sorry. So, what are your thoughts on semiotic therapy, or I'm not probably saying it wrong. Semiotic. I think I'm saying it wrong. Sorry. Let me look that up.
Chrissy, could you describe that therapy for her?
Yeah, could you tell me? I think it's something is no.
Did she mean symbiotic?
Hello, it's semiotic. Yeah, I think it's semiotic, relating to the body, especially as distinct from the mind. It's dealing with the body. That's what it says.
Well, there are many different kind of thought when body and mind. In my new book, I talk about a lot about that. And the philosophical thing is that there are many philosophical view, and everybody do therapy related to that. When you talk about the body as a therapy, but let's see, your body, your mind is separate from your body. This is one of the philosophy, Asian philosophy. And when you using nicotine patch, you are using that therapy, because it doesn't have to do. It has to do with the result. It has to do. You are gaining results regardless of what your brain says or whatever, but you are gaining results. It's result oriented. So when you use a nicotine and you're using your body, all you want to know is that you don't want to smoke, and that patch would do that. So this is where that comes from. The philosophical way that your body and your mind are different, and many school of thought says no, wait a minute, our mind and our body work are synchronized, and this is where we operate, and this is a pragmatic way we operate in the thought that our body and our mind are connected. But there are many school of thought that say no, as long as we get results, if I get an injection and the injection will fix you, then that's it. That's that's the end, you know. So it's results oriented therapy.
Thank you so much for that.
Yeah.
I like the checklist that you had on one of the slides. I made a little copy and I put it on our Facebook page so people can see it. And
Oh, that's great. Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
so that we
Feel free.
can, because you know, you may do like is it bad to only do one thing? You know, like if only you do yoga twice a week, is that enough? Or do you need to spend some time if they, you know, outside just walking, breathing? You know, do you need to do
No.
a whole bunch of
If
just
that worked for you, whatever worked for you, everybody is different. Okay. If the yoga complete you, the yoga is a very important exercise. It's connect your body with your brain and your activity and your energy. So is that work for you? Many people use yoga, believe it or not, to lose weight. You know, they feel that they you know, they lose a lot of weight when they do the yoga. And most of the people who use the yoga usually have a very good eating habit. So, you know, so it goes hand to hand. Whatever worked for you. And my friend dance, that's what she does. She dances twice a week. And she danced for 2 hours until she couldn't dance anymore. And she feel absolutely great. You know, so she getting her aerobic, she getting her air, she feel in her element, and that her meditations kind of when she dance, you know, because she is in the present when she's doing it. Remember, mindfulness is being in the present. You are in the present time. You are doing whatever you're doing, you do it in the present time.
Lucinda, did you want to share or do you want me to read?
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, no, I just wanted to thank Dr. Granville very much. It was a really, and thank you and Maria, thank you very much. It was a really, really great presentation.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
No, you really helped me. 4,000
Oh my
miles
goodness,
away.
that's
4,000 miles away.
Lucinda said she's making an appointment tomorrow.
Yep, I'm gonna get my annual checkup, which has been a couple of years, actually. Yep.
If you
Thank
could only
you.
save one person, I'm okay.
Yep, that's right. That's right. I also loved the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah,
that was
it's very
really good.
simple. It's very easy, very simple. So if you find yourself distracted, even if you are having a tough day, just get yourself mindful with that. You know, you develop. I created a book for children for that is going to come out this year for youth, especially immigrant kids, because they all coming with a, you know, so bad. I see so many in New York, and we have a big conference for immigrant children every year. You know, the girls are going to high school, and now we have the boys and the girls. And what we do is that we always talk about mindfulness. But this year I wrote 2 books, one for the regular kids, the youth, and the other one for immigrant kids, because they are special. They come in with such a difficult, you know, travel and journey that I wanted to honor them.
Wow, I'm going to look for those books, because I work with young Mexican women who are hoping to get more education, and some of them are planning to migrate. Mixed blessing. And yeah, I would love to have a resource like that.
Send me an email. My information is there. I don't know, Maria, if you're gonna post my information, so they will be able, maybe I'll put it over here in the chat. Let me see. Hello, Dilcia Granville Consulting. You could send me an email. You could go to my website, subscribe to my website, and I'll be able to send you information. All the time I have workshop and books. This year I'm coming out with 4 books, so very busy.
Perfect. Excellent. There we go.
You're busy, but you have to do self-care.
Oh, I do. I every day, look, as I wake up very early, and my routine is that I write in the morning. I do breakfast, and it's a very light and, you know, with fruits and things. But and then I do my exercise with my husband. We go downstairs and we do my exercise. I do the total gym, and then we walk. So that's I'm busy both way, and I really like that I take time to do my exercise, and that I take time to care. I do my annual checkup, and you know, I tell my doctor, hey, have you have your annual checkup? I don't want nothing happen to you. He goes, you are something else. I ask my doctor all the time. And he laughed because he goes, I said, I bet you don't have a prostate exam yet. And he goes, I knew you're going to ask me.
I wanted to say thank you for the presentation because, you know, one of the things I've been battling with at work is trying to get comp time because I need to finish work. And it's funny because my supervisor is always saying, you know, you should be able to get it done within 8 hours. Like, you know, she wants to be able to support me in other ways to help me get the work done rather than give me comp time. And she stays sometimes till even after I leave, which means she doesn't practice what she preaches.
But she preaches.
Yeah. And you know, I'm upset that I'm not getting comp time. And I'm thinking,
Jackie, you left.
I think she's frozen.
But Jackie, if you're listening, listen to me very carefully.
did you hear me? Sorry.
Yeah.
Did you hear me?
You have to look into your time management, okay? You hear me?
Yeah, you hear me?
You're broken up.
Oh, did I freeze? Oh, sorry, because I'm in the kitchen. Yeah, you know, procrastination is my big thing. That's my big thing. And Gladys knows that. So I've been trying to.
But you need, procrastination is also, when you procrastinate, you're not being mindful. Always remember 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, okay? When you feel procrastinating, it's that your mind is wandering. You are not where you're supposed to be. And with that, I teach a course in setting goals, you know, getting procrastination out of your life for once. And I think when you are putting when you're mindful about it, and you have to have a plan. If you don't have a plan, you never make it. You have to have a plan for the day. What am I going to do today? And this is the plan. And what is it that I'm spending time with? You know, I'm spending time and something else, and I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do. And you don't want to work comp time. You don't. You want to work the hours that you needed to work because you need the other hours for yourself. So, you know, send me an email and we could have a coaching session about that.
Thank you.
Gladys?
Oh, you say Gladys. They're going to help me with my procrastination.
I wanted to share something that happened to me yesterday. So I had the day off, but my boss called me because she wanted to alert me that there were going to be layoffs that happened yesterday. And she didn't want me to come to work today and be surprised that other people had been laid off. But because I was laid off 14 years ago, emotions welled up for me. And I fully understood, because I'm surrounded by social workers because I work at the Alzheimer's Association. So we talk a lot about social work stuff. And it hit home for me how past traumas sit in your body and you don't realize, but they come up, because just hearing that other people had been laid off got me. I was emotional for hours. I was like crying. And it wasn't necessarily because of the people that were let go that I'm going to miss them. It was because it reminded me of the feeling that I had when I was told your position is eliminated. You only have an hour to exit, and what that transition meant for me. So just to drive home that our childhood traumas or our past traumas are very present, even though if consciously we don't have them, they're embedded in us.
Always. You have to be those creepy, when those creepy things come out. That trauma, that is the trauma that you have to deal with. You probably buried it out because you got another job and you get this job and you get a lot of, but you never dealt with it. You have to deal with it. You have to deal with that departure that it's like you losing a limb. People think, oh, that's nothing. I'm glad that I'm alive. But you have to deal that you don't have a limb. You have to know that you're losing something important. Losing the job or losing your health is very important. It's traumatic. My friend, they told her she has cancer, and she said, I don't know what I'm going to do now. What am I supposed to act? She said to me, and I said, well, it's too soon yet. It hasn't hit you yet. You don't know yet. You're going to go to chemo, and I help her going through the whole process. This is going to be, and I bought her a wig, and I bought her a gown, how can I support her? I cannot support her any other way than just being there for her, and she always remembered that I was there for her. I couldn't take away that she has cancer, but I was supporting her in whatever I could, I don't understand what the doctor is saying. Not because she's a stupid, it's because she was shocked that she has cancer. And she couldn't understand what the doctor was saying. She said, he is speaking English or Spanish. I don't know what he's speaking. And I said, you can't, because you are traumatic. You have a traumatic effect on you. So I was there to translate what the doctor have to say, even though she speaks English. And I think, Gladys, that trauma that bring you back today, I could feel it in your voice when you were talking to me. Today, I said, you okay? I asked you if you were okay, because your voice didn't sound like they always, the tone of voice didn't sound the same.
Yeah, it was a tough day at work. We had like 3 meetings about the layoffs, and it was just very somber in the office. It wasn't an easy day.
I could see how that is affecting you. It is. And we have to deal with those trauma. And when you're feeling like that, go back to the mindfulness exercise that I did, the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, okay? And that help you to be conscious and the present. That didn't happen to you. It happened to them. But you are present. You have the job, and somebody called you, and you could feel the water, and you could feel the chocolate. You could smell the roses, and look, didn't happen to you, Gladys.
Yep.
Anybody else?
Yeah, does anybody else have any questions? Well, with that, then, thank you so much, Dilcia. Thank you, everyone, for staying a little bit extra, because we had a little bit of a late start. But I'm glad that you joined us, and maybe we can have Dilcia back in the future.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
And there are thank yous in the chat.
Oh, I see. Trying to read them. Oh, you are welcome.
Well then, good night, ladies.
So good night, everybody. Don't forget to send me the link.